When I
I was like, I can't fish with the right. Like, I can't do it. Like it's just so awkward.
Have you tried to? I can't even pretend like I'm reeling left-handed.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I was just doing. It's just like my arm doesn't do it. Left-handed, like I got the. It's like I'm spitting. It's like I'm mixing up a cake, bro. I got the.
It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
What's up, everybody? Pinche, Ben, and Jimmy here with another episode of the Cast&Blast podcast. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us, Jimmy. Let's go ahead and get started like we always do with a cold 5x5 foo bar, man. Cheers.
Sorry, I already got started. So.
Yeah, man. So welcome back to the podcast, guys. Today it's Real Talk with PB&J, and we're just going to be chopping it up, talking about fishing reels. The real deal. Yeah. So, man, check it out. We were sitting outside talking, man, and we kind of started talking about how we started with fishing reels. Like, what kind of reels did you start off with? What kind of, and we started thinking about it. We're like, let's just talk about it on the podcast, man. And instead of talking outside, we're here with you guys, and we're just going to bring you in on the conversation. So I hope you're ready to have a little bit of real talk with PB&J. And, man, we were talking, Jimmy, and when we started talking about when we first started fishing, man, what did you start off with?
You remember the old Zebco 33s? I think it was Zebco 33, right? The old like metal.
Yeah, the real basics
reel,
push button
button in the back. Yeah. I want to say that's the first memory I have, other than like a cane pole or something, like perch jerking, catching bluegill perch. But yeah, the old school Zebco 33s, man, and what a workhorse they are too, man. Like indestructible. Man, chunk them in the back of the truck, chunk them in the water, get out, keep going.
I met a guy. I met a fishing tournament, dude. Man, this guy. He was actually a pro on the pro circuit, and he invited me into his shop where he had his boat backed up into him. We were just checking out his boat. He had a nice nitro, maybe 20-footer,
good bass boat.
Good bass boat. And what caught me by surprise is he had all the best gear, all the best tackle and everything. And I look up on the wall, and I just see a wall of Zebcos on rod holders.
And he's a tournament fisher?
Dude, he had the same Zebco lined up on the wall, just probably 12 of them, all tied up differently, and he had a wall with spool of line and everything. And I was just like, so he's a real tournament fisherman, but he fished nothing but Zebco. So I looked at him, I was like, are these decorative?
Maybe, fishing tournament's not cheap, man. So maybe that's where the reels came in.
Nah, he was in the money, man.
Yeah,
he was in the money. Like, he was already like in the winnings. I think he won that boat with a fishing tournament, and we just started talking. And I was like, "You fish Zebcos?" And he's like, "I'm known as a Zebco guy, right?" And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I used to get up after all the tournaments and be like, Zebco." And I was like, "That's pretty cool." So I was like, "Man, when you said Zebcos, it reminded me of that story." But I mean, they're a very effective and efficient combo.
Hey, if you're starting off fishing, I don't think that you could get a better combo or a better reel to learn how to cast with and learn the functions of a reel and how they operate. And not only that, but they're tough, man. They're super tough. I know I've put them through hell, catching the tree pounders.
Yeah. They're resilient, man.
I've brought in logs. When I say logs, like actual logs, you get hung up, and those things will bring them in. I don't know how they are nowadays, because I want to say like back then there were more metal in them than there are now. Seems like more
probably
plastic.
Every reel was like that.
Probably all like that, but I haven't used one in years. But it makes me want to go get one and try. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go find one and get a good setup. So. I like seeing them. I still pick them up and I look at them and I tinker around with them every time. But yeah, so ironically, I did not start off with like a kiddie pole or a Zebco or anything. Not that the Zebco is a kiddie pole by any means, but the way I started off was my dad and my uncle sat me down in the back of a pickup truck at a high school parking lot, dropped the tailgate, and gave me a conventional pin reel, like a pen.
Like a baitcaster?
Like a baitcaster, but like a big.
Big.
Exactly what we got.
Oh, one of these.
Yeah. So, and they basically taught me how to cast with just the weight and just casting out on the back of the truck and casting out to the open parking lot of the high school. WB Ray High School in Corpus Christi. That's where I cut my teeth, bro.
Slinging lead.
But yeah, man, I would cast out and bird's nest, and I'd spend more time freaking taking the bird's nest out, and they're all like, "You're gonna learn how to cast that," and I would cast out, start feathering, and start getting it to where I wouldn't let the spool over spool and let out too much line, and that's what I first started learning. And then when I got that, the weird part was then they handed me the spinning reel. So it was like they kind of did it backwards. Like, you're going to learn how to fish on this before you go. But I was probably, I don't know, 5 years old, the back of the truck. My cousin was a couple years older than me, and he was there next to me, and we were both birds nested and sitting there. Maybe they did it to, like, sit there and drink some beer and, like, get us to kill time.
Look at this.
Yeah, like, here, mess with this, So that was pretty fun. But that's where I started, man.
So what is your go-to now? Like, what do you, after, going to the spin cast and then, a bell reel, what do you like now?
So I'm a baitcaster, man.
Or baitcaster, that's what I meant.
Yeah. I'm pretty much saltwater, freshwater, whatever it is, I'm using a baitcaster. I mean, I have a certain application that I'm going to bust out the spinning reel for.
I do too.
But,
all applications.
Oh, yeah?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, but, so that's where we differ. You know what I mean? Is like you're and we knew that, before we started talking about this. But I'm a baitcaster guy. You're a spinning reel guy. But at the same time, it's all about preference. It's preference, really. Let me ask you this: what makes you go to the spinning reel? Is there like something that you say, hey, and I'll share with you why I like using the baitcaster.
I guess there isn't any like real reason. I guess when I left the Zebco land, kind of picked up the spin cast reels, or not spinning reel, the spinner reels. I fell in love with them. Like I learned how to cast better with them. When I say cast better, like as far as hitting a target.
I feel like I can cast pretty far with a spinning reel too. I mean, I enjoy the casting distance I can get with a spinning reel.
But you can get that out of a baitcaster too.
I can, but I'm a little chicken. I still kind of hold back a little,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to master the baitcaster.
Yes. I mean,
a master baitcaster.
Yeah, but, I'm a master baiter for sure. I mean, I hook the baits really. I mean, wait.
Just not a master baitcaster yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they seem fun, right? And I've had them. I think I still have a few, and I use them every once in a while. Just not my favorite thing. I like the spinning reels. Right
on. Well, I know that for me, I'll be honest, I feel like a spinning reel, and people are probably going to freak out or say this is ridiculous, but I feel like it's a little more taxing on your arm in a long day of, when you're going like cast per cast and counting casts. I feel like I can cast out a lot longer with a baitcaster. Yeah. I just feel like, the amount of...
It's a whole different mechanics behind it.
Absolutely. And also, once you get the swing and the right, momentum and using, that's what a lot of people don't understand is like with a baitcaster, you're letting go behind you. Mm-hmm. Where with a spinning reel, I do a lot of sidearm casting. It's just out of habit.
I do too.
But
I flip it with the finger and...
You're kind of letting it go out in front of you, but you need that weight and momentum, But with a baitcaster, if you're whipping behind you, you're almost letting it go behind your head to get that, I'll call it like a trebuchet, that reaction, to get it to swing. And if you don't...
Ricky Bobby slingshot.
Yeah, and if you don't, man, you'll feel the difference, and then that starts wearing on you. But I just prefer it, man. I like saltwater or freshwater. Like, I know I could probably get, and this is a preference thing. This is a personal thing. What works for you may not work for me, and how you cast out is different than how I cast out. And there's guys that got it dialed in on the baitcasters, but for me, my accuracy and everything, like just like with a shot, right? You have your not your comfort zone, but your you have your limitations. Mm-hmm. It's good to know your limitations, right? And then practice within your limitations, but it's also good to get outside that comfort zone.
Yeah, get outside it, do something a little different.
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with baitcasters. I love how smooth they feel. They always feel so much smoother, on the retrieve or reeling in. But and it's probably more me, but the times that you do bird nest and you're just sitting there so frustrated.
Man, it can get tough.
Yeah, cursing.
How many times have you cut a spool off of your reel and just like started all over?
Just trying to. Well, you better hope you got. Anytime you got a baitcaster, you better carry extra spool line with you.
Yeah, you do.
Just make sure.
I have one in my tackle bag all the time because when I first started throwing the baitcaster out, man, I went through some braid, man. I went through some stuff, and I started like mono, and then I went to braid, and then I went from braid tied to a floral leader, and that's what I prefer now. Is I like tying on a leader, and I do it just for. I like to have like a clear end, and I like the abrasion resistance on a floral line, and I just don't like a full spool of fluoro. That's just where I'm at right now, and I kind of go back and forth, dude. Are you the same way? Like, do you ever change it up? Like, sometimes I'm like, man, I'm gonna change it up.
Seldomly. I'm mainly a braid guy.
Yeah.
With mono leaders.
Yeah.
Mainly what I do. But I got a question.
So you like the stretch on the mono?
No, well, I like the leaders for the abrasion resistance.
Yeah.
And then I like the tightness or the how you feel everything with the braid.
Braid, yeah.
I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Like when braid first started coming out.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I didn't really get into braid until probably a couple of years after it came out. But did you ever make the mistake to never put a backing on your braid before you put it on, and then catch a big fish and just have the whole spool?
I did,
just
man.
Twisting on the reel.
I did, and I learned quick. It was a good friend of mine that told me, he's like, "Oh man, you got to have a backing," and I was like, "Backing? What is that?" So I started off with like, I still do this to this day. I start off with a little electric tape.
That's
black
That's
electric
what I
tape.
do too, yeah.
And then I'll tie. I do a backing of, maybe a 20 to 60 feet of like mono or whatever, and then I tie my braid to that. And I never hit that 60 feet. You know what I mean? Right. I've never been spooled out that far freshwater fishing, even saltwater fishing. Like, that was where I go into the spinning reel. Like, if I'm gonna get spooled out, I'm gonna get spooled out on a spinning reel because I got a bigger rig, I got a bigger rod. That's what it's for, surf fishing and stuff like that. It's not really like a casting rod. It's just what I like to use for saltwater. Yeah. It's just my thicker, bigger, heavier action rod. But I do use the backing, and I do go that route.
So with that being said, right, if you've kind of used the old spin cast, the old Zebcos, the Baitcasters, and the spinning rod. If you could choose one rod or one type of reel that you could only ever use ever for the rest of your life to fish with, which one would it be?
100%, I'm going to stick with the Baitcaster, man.
You are a master baitcaster.
What's crazy is I actually use a Baitcaster to, I do my drop shot, freshwater application. I do drop shot on my Baitcaster. I do, topwater fishing, of course. I do, I like the Baitcaster, man. And it works for me. Like, it's just what I like to carry. I feel like they're lighter to get from point A to point B. I can carry more.
They're more compact too.
Yeah, they're I can carry 3 rods with me real quick to the bank if I'm gonna go that route. Drop them in the kayak if I'm kayak fishing.
Do you feel like they're harder to maintain?
So yes and no, and here's why. I baby my reels. I baby my equipment. It's kind of weird. I have OCD, and therefore I'm always like over cleaning my reels. So much to the point to where I've actually made the mistake of like disassembling them all and getting them back together and being like, man, I don't really feel like it feels the same way, and I'll set that one down, and I probably won't go break them down that far anymore. But I kind of like just broke them down like completely, had like every little piece, and I just go backwards, to put them back together.
I do the same thing. I don't do it as often as maybe you do. I do it once a year. I try to do it once a year.
Yeah, I'm a little bit weird about it. So freshwater fishing, I really don't. I don't really do too much to my reels.
I do even freshwater, but
yeah.
I don't exactly baby them.
But
I try to take care of them.
Yeah.
But they end up with a lot of mud and sand.
So my rods and reels, like, I'll get mud on my stuff, and especially kayaking, and you can't help. Yeah. But I've never dunked a reel in the water. I've never dunked anything like that. So it's just kind of fresh saltwater. And full disclosure, I'm taking the same rod and reel. And I'm gonna get beat up again about this. I take the same rod and reels with me, freshwater or saltwater fishing.
Why do you get beat up about? I don't know much about saltwater fishing. So why would you get beat up?
So like down south, I go down to the coast a lot, Corpus Christi area, and do a lot of fishing down there with my primos. Man, we get together and we have some spots and whatnot, and they look at my rod and reel combos, dude, and they're like, "You've never used that before."
I think I would fit in with them then.
So they're like, "There's no way you're using this rod and reel." And I'm like, "This is what I use every day, bro." And they're like, "Dude, there's no way that's a brand new rod and reel." I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Come on, man." I'm like, "For real." I baby my stuff. I just take care of it, and after I come back from the coast, man, I'm putting a little work into them and doing all that stuff. I'm not touch up paint, nothing like that, but as far as like the casing and everything, like that's gonna get scratched up and everything. But like when you look at like the gears and all that stuff, like I have all that cleaned up. I have it all ready. There's no, I make sure that I do a good freshwater rinse. I'm doing a good cleaning to them. I like to have like seal bearing systems and all that stuff. So I will invest in that so that I don't have to go that deep into the cleaning and whatnot. But that's just how I fish, man. I just baby my stuff, you know.
That's
what I mean?
Good, man. I mean,
I got rod socks on my reel, on my rods, and my cousins are all like, "What is that?"
That's an investment you put into it. If you have, I don't know how many you have, but 6 or 8 rods, reels, or whatever.
I'll never tell you. I'm like a woman in shoes. Like I'll never tell you how many.
Yeah, never admit it. Especially to the wife. She's like, "Oh, you got a new fishing pole. How much was it?" Never admit it.
So in my situation, my wife's got probably 5 times shoes than I have rod and reels. And when she asked me, like, "Do you need another pole and another combo?" I'm like, "Do you need another pair of shoes?"
Hey, it's bargaining power.
Yeah.
Right?
So I definitely don't have enough rod and reels to cover her shoes, but we both have our vices.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
I need some new rod and reels. Like I got a few that are just slap ass worn out. Like I need to buy.
If I market. Okay, let's talk about that. What would be the next combo you purchase? Like what would be the next rod? Like are you gonna go like casting rod? Are you gonna go for like a catfish rod? What are you gonna go get right now? Like do you need a crappie rod? Like what is it that's gonna go and get your attention?
So I like the versatility of a one rod. When I say that, I have diehard catfish rods that I use for catfishing only. Right. They're too big, too stiff for anything else. But I normally I want a rod that I can use for crappie fishing. It's got a little backbone for, pulling some bigger bass out, or if I want to throw some bigger baits, some jigs, some swim baits and things like that. So I know people are going to hear this and be like, crazy. You can't find a rod that's going to be a good crappie rod and something you could throw swim baits with. I get it.
Yeah,
I totally understand that. But you can find something that's kind of in there. Yeah. That if you just want to grab a rod and take off, you have the versatility to do a lot of different things. Yeah. And I'm a fan of the Ugly Stick GX2s. Like, I love that rod. And I know it's not an expensive rod. It's not a high-dollar rod. But it works, and it works well for me.
Yeah, I have one tied up to one of my favorite pin. I think it's a Pin Fierce or a Pin no. It's escaping me, but the very common pin reel for spinning reel.
Spinning reel, yeah. There's so many out there.
I think, but I got that tied up with the GX2, and it's stiff. I like it. It's my setup. I mean that's what I'll take out to like chase the cats or do all that. That's gonna be what I do. So.
Hey, you just never know what you might be into that day, and
a
good versatile rod.
I think I need a good casting rod. You know what I mean? That would be cool for like for surf fishing and stuff like that, for launching baits. But as far as as far as like my go-to, like I'm gonna have a medium fast action. You've seen it's pretty light.
Yeah, it is super light.
Like, yeah. And I
it's got a nice spine, bend radius, backbone, and the bend radius. Yeah,
yeah. They got that parabolic. Yeah, they got that parabolic bend, and you'll see it. But the sensitivity on the rod,
sensitivity was nuts.
So yeah, man. I mean, I'm just looking for that type of like feel and this and that, where I can feel what I'm pulling on the bottom.
I've never fished with a rod as nice as that one. I've never even fished with one that nice. So to feel that one. Really kind of made me think about money, really kind of made me think about like maybe I want to put a little more money into the rod when I buy it more than an ugly stick GX2 or something.
So for me, my advice to you would be the way you're going to get that is get with a custom rod builder. That rod is built to my arm length. It's built. The reel seat is I hand picked it. Like the length is what I prefer. You know, that's a 7'3". You know, that's just. Everything was picked, you know, down to the guides, down to everything, the reel seat, the locks, the length, the hand grips, everything. So when you get with a custom rod builder, they're actually going to measure like where do you set the hook, you know, where do you set that rod, you know, that butt of that rod and all that stuff. So my advice to you is get with a custom rod builder, and there's a lot that we work with that get that custom rod builder to get you what you want, pick it from head to toe, and then be like, all right, this is my go-to rod. And now if you look at my setup, I really got like 3 rods, and they're all custom rods. So I stick with those, and I change the application. And the next one I need to get, if I had to get anything, was I need to get me a big bait rod, like almost like a musky rod type thing. Man, I want to get me something where I can sling some freaking big, heavy, just some swim baits, man. Yeah, I need to get me a swim bait rod, dude, so I can go bigger fish or bigger baits, catch bigger fish. It's a controversy, right?
It is,
but dude, look at all the guys landing the huge fish. I mean, they're slinging some huge baits. You know, whether it's a swim bait. How many
times have they thrown that big ass bait though? How many times has it just been launched and been launched?
True. I mean, I can't tell you, but I mean, I want to give it a shot. You know, it's not my style. I'll do. You know, I like fishing flukes. I like fishing. You know, I like working. I like top water. Even salt water. I'm popping corks. You know what I mean? I just like doing. I like driving the fish crazy with noise and action. You know?
When you're reeling, first of all, are you right-handed or left-handed?
So that's another thing, man. I'm actually right-handed, but I fish left-hand retrieve.
So I think
and shoot left. You know, I shoot
think a lot of people that are right-handed, they cast right-handed.
So I cast with my right,
and you reel left.
That's, to me, that's conventional fishing.
To me, that's bass backwards.
Exactly.
Right. So
but think about it. I'm casting with my right. I'm switching my hand over with my. I'm switching over my casting hand, and then I'm basically not what you call like setting the reel, right? So whether if you were using a spinning reel, you're gonna cast out, and your handle's on the right side. So you cast out with your right, then you switch over and you set the bail, close the bail, take out the slack, right?
Yeah.
So that's your right hand. You calling that right-handed? Now I'm fishing with my left hand.
Right. So I don't know what is right and wrong.
Exactly. Same goes with shooting, man. I think shooting. I shoot left-handed. One, because I'm left eye dominant, but I think now that I have left-handed, like, you know, rifles and stuff like that.
Ambidextrous type.
Yeah. So I shoot pool left-handed. I do things left-handed. I don't know why, but it's just if I was boxing, I'd be boxing southpaw. You know what I mean? It's just what I'm comfortable. But it's that type of, I think that's brain damage too, or I got to kind of have a little bit of,
who knows,
I got that TBI, man.
So what is backwards with reeling, right? So
I think that casting out with your right hand, switching over to your left hand and reeling with your right hand, to me, that just makes no sense.
No, man, that's the only way to do it. So I got a friend. Actually, we got a mutual friend, Adam Sheets, right? So we've had this conversation a million times. He's left-handed, but to me, he
like
fishes
dominant left-handed. He writes left-handed, throws left-handed, everything.
But I tell him that he fishes bass backwards. He tells me that I fish bass backwards. So I cast.
That's another thing. Finding left-handed reels, like baitcasters, it's a little harder than finding.
To me, they're all left-handed.
They're all
a right-handed person. If you look at a lot of fishermen, like
yes,
a lot of pros too.
Yeah,
they're right-handed, but they reel with the left hand.
See, I don't see that a lot.
I see it all the time.
I see it more. So like baitcasters with
even spin reels, and that's why I love spin.
Dude,
reels.
Go to any store right now.
That's why I love spinning reels, because you can just take that damn handle.
You
out,
can switch it.
Put it on the other side.
I for sure wish that was the case on like pin reels, or a like baitcaster. I wish you could swap them out the way you can, like just flip the spool maybe and go to town. But that is not the case. So that is a pro and con of having a spinning reel. Is most of them are call them ambidextrous. You can swap them out.
Yes,
you know,
easy.
Yeah,
simple.
Yeah, some of them are not. Some of them are fixed. You know,
some of them are. Yeah, the more high dollar, custom type thing. Yeah. What is right and wrong with that? Reeling left-handed or right-handed? Because
I don't know. What is right to you guys? I personally think that there's some time, especially like. So when is almost like the instantaneous bite?
So
the descent of the bait, right?
So if I cast and I'm spinning reels, right?
Yes.
So if I cast,
depending on the season, right? When they're more aggressive,
right? And I'm using my fingers and I'm flipping that bell back up right then as soon as it hits the water, or I'm stopping the bait.
Yeah, you're trying to not allow so much slack in the line.
But there is, you're right. As soon as that bait hits the water,
sometimes there's an instant bite. So if I'm taking my hands, and I'm gonna argue this to death,
I have to move over.
I gotta switch over.
You have to move over and find the reel.
Yeah, you're gonna switch handle. Over, and now I'm gonna go. Now there's, I don't know. Maybe I'm being.
But it all comes down. I mean, after you do it so long, technique. So as that bait's hitting, you're already.
Bro, the pros are killing it.
You already got your rod tip down. So when that comes down, when that bait hits, if it happens, you can already hook set. So, but if you're up and your rod tip is still up, and the bait hits and something hits, you got nowhere to hook set. So you got to have your rod tip down, ready to go at an instant.
So that's exactly. You're taking the slack out. Mm-hmm. Everything I do is going to be with my left hand. So I'm. Rod tip down, taking the slack
backwards, man.
Taking a slip out, and then that's usually when I got that descend, the bait's presentation, and then I get that bite. I'm hook setting. To me, I'm losing that time. I'll be honest with you, I can't fish right-handed. I can't
fish left-handed.
I can't like if I've been on boats with my friends and they got rods and they're like, hey, I got plenty of rods. I'm like, can't do it.
Yeah, that's
what do you mean?
When I was
like, I can't fish with the rod. I can't do it. Like It's just so awkward.
Have you tried to? I can't even pretend like I'm reeling left-handed.
Yeah, that's what I was just doing. It's just like my arm doesn't do it. Left-handed, like I got the. It's like I'm spinning. It's like I'm mixing up a cake, bro. I got the. It's on the flick of the wrist.
Yeah, other way, man. Other way, I can't do it.
But I mean, does it make sense though? Like even shooting left-handed, right?
I can shoot left-handed.
So I can shoot right-handed as well.
I can't shoot a bow left-handed, but I can shoot a gun left-handed.
I can't shoot a bow, period. So I tried that with you. I got this busted arm. Maybe if I tried it
left-handed,
maybe
could
be.
But
how? Then I got to go find a left-handed bow.
Yeah, they're out there, easy to find.
Everything you see, you say that because you don't ever shop for left-handed stuff. I can tell. Well, I tell you, yes, they are. Like you can go buy them from online or get them at the store and everything. But they are a little less hard. They are a little harder to find. Left-handed reel is the same thing. Like I will give you one.
What is considered a left-handed reel?
I will give you one. I call it just when the reel is on the left-hand side.
But that's how a lot of right-hand fishermen fish because they cast with the right hand.
That's the right way to fish. I'm telling you, I'm right. You're wrong.
No, bro. I'll argue this shit,
bro. I'm telling you. But so shooting.
If you're right-handed,
shooting. Think about this. I got a rifle. I'm shooting with a left-handed carabine rifle.
But because you're left eye dominant though, if you're right,
but I'm shooting with my rifle, my Tika T3 is a left-handed rifle.
Yep.
So when I shoot, I got to take my trigger finger off to reload my rifle and come back. That's the way it's built. It's a left-handed rifle. Technically, shooting with a right-handed rifle, I get to keep my trigger finger off, reload, and come back.
How are you going to reload with your forward hand?
Just keep it tied up against your shoulder. If you kept it tied up against your shoulder, you could sit here and go back.
Oh, if you're shooting a right-hand gun.
Yes, shooting with a right-hand gun.
Oh, shooting a right-hand gun.
So technically, to me, shooting a right-hand gun and shooting it left-hand
not changing your sight picture
is right.
Everything there.
To me, that's right.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that argument. I still can't do it, but it makes sense. I see the logic behind it.
Let's go back to fishing reels. This is real talk, man. But hey,
the reel.
We can go back and forth about reel, or about what's right, what's wrong, and I think it's hilarious because we're just chopping it up and talking about like what we think is right, but we're completely bass backwards.
Yeah, but
we're not. I mean,
the first thing.
How about you make your comments and you let us know what you feel is conventional, right?
Yeah,
and what is southpaw. Let's just call it that.
Or
left
backwards. Hand. Wrong.
Right or wrong?
Wrong.
I call it how I fish. It makes sense. I cast with my right hand. I reel with my left. I'm right hand dominant.
A lot of people say that is
I'm right hand dominant.
They will agree.
But when everybody looks at me, oh, you're a lefty? I'm like, no. And they're like, but you fish left handed. But do I?
Do you? I don't know.
Same thing with shooting. Now, shooting's a little different because most of us are either left eye or right eye dominant.
Yeah, it's kind of...
So that's a little debatable. But I do believe that, like, if I'm shooting left-handed, I should be able to reload with my right hand.
So if you're right-handed, if you're right-hand dominant and you cast right-handed, why would you not reel right-handed?
Where are you hook setting with? What's strong hand? Do you need a strong hand to reel, or do you need a strong hand to hook set?
So I hook set with both.
Well, you do, but you're really pulling... Right now, hook set.
Hook set.
Yeah.
Coming up. I'm going to bury the butt of the rod in my forearm, right?
But that's right, because you switch your arm over.
Yeah.
So you're doing the same thing I'm doing. The only difference is you're reeling with your right hand.
The only difference is I'm right.
But it doesn't make sense because I hook set with my right. I bury the butt of the rod here. I got the reel seat in my
right hand?
Yes, and I hook set here. And I'm reeling with my left hand.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm burying the butt,
you bury the buttstock in your left hand.
In my left hand, yeah, and I'm coming up that way.
Yeah, the only thing is you hook set across your body. I hook set over on my right. By habit.
I mean, depending on which direction I'm... Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But so you're using your less dominant hand to have the most important part of catching fish, which is hook set.
If I can't reel, then how important is it?
You can go and grab line with both hands and pull that fish in. But that hook set, if you miss the hook set,
I'm not going to catch a fish if I can't reel, though, at all. And I can't reel left-handed.
How many times have we gone diving in after a fish that you knew, like, you broke a tip?
Yeah.
You ever broke a tip on a rod, but you got one tied on?
Well, actually, I've never had a fish break a rod.
I have. I've gone through my phase of spin combos and Shakespeare. Like
I've broke plenty of rods, but I haven't been hooked on a fish and had it break.
So we'll sum it up, man.
Yeah.
So you're a spin caster, you're a spinning reel guy. I'm a baitcaster guy. You're a right hand fisherman.
Right hand reel.
Yep. I'm left hand reel. So off the top, we're two
separate, completely different. Yeah.
So who's right, who's wrong, right? We don't know.
Man, at the end of the day, if we both catch fish,
so now it's time to go prove it, man.
Yeah, we've been saying that.
Yeah, weather hasn't been in our favor, man. We've had some bad days, and man, we're getting ready for our market days. We're pressing shirts, we're pressing hats, we're
eating lunch with the game wardens.
Yeah, we went and had lunch with the game warden, man, and that was an awesome time, wasn't it? Yeah, we got to learn a lot, and we're gonna schedule that sit down where he's gonna join us on the cast
right
couch
here with us soon.
So if you have questions for the game warden and there's something you want to know,
now's the time.
So let us know, and let us know in these comments on this video, because we're trying to line up that podcast with the game warden, Game Warden Sanchez from Bell County. He's going to sit down with us. He's going to answer all the questions, but we need your questions. If there's something you want to know, or there's something you want to clear, or there's something you want to just like put all the doubts and the questions aside.
Something that's gray. You're like, I've been doing this for
feel
years.
Like this
I think it's kind of legal, but
I guarantee
I'm not
you, Game Warden Sanchez is going to clear that up because he's going to speak facts. He's going to speak law. And at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do to win that argument.
It's not going to be opinion based.
It won't be.
It's going to be facts and law, just like you said.
So that's what I'm looking forward to because we have some questions that we even
asked some questions having lunch.
We learned a lot there too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to having the Game Warden on our podcast. We're looking forward to setting up our Belton Days, market days.
Really looking forward to that. That's going to be.
So mark your calendars, April 15th. Come check us out. We're going to be downtown Belton, Texas. It's right in the heart of Texas, man. If you're anywhere in the state of Texas, come check us out. Come meet Pinche, Ben, and Jimmy for the first time. Shake our hands. We'll make sure you get taken care of.
We'll make you a deal.
Yeah, we got some sweethearts and maybe we got some gifts that we're gonna be doing for some people coming up, and we're just gonna have fun with it, man. We're really looking forward to being plugged into the community there, shaking hands and laughing and talking, some Cast and Blast with the people.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll be up there,
We're going to have kids. We're going to have,
shaking babies and kissing hands.
Yeah, that's what we do best. So, hey, check it out, man. We've been kind of busy getting into the swing of this season. We're going to be setting up a lot of booths. We're going to be setting up a lot of, trade shows and trying to get out there. So we'll be coming to a town near you guys, man. Keep a lookout. Follow us on social media. You can find Cast and Blast Outfitters on all social media. And let us know, man. Send us pics of you living the Cast and Blast lifestyle. And I guarantee you this. Send us a pic and we will send you a promo code to you in a DM. And it just kind of helps us like sell merch and get some of those stuff because that merch that we sell helps us reinvest into the podcast. So
and that's on castandblastoutfitters.com. So if you swing over there, you'll be able to find all the newest merch. And I think we got some new stuff on there and new stuff coming up soon.
Yeah, we're working on a whole bunch of new projects. We got a lot of stuff boiling in the background, don't we?
Yeah, we're definitely staying busy.
That's pretty cool because I can't disclose a lot of the stuff we got going on, but it's all for the followers, all for the customers, man. They're going to be excited about the projects we have coming out. Might see us in some bigger stores. You might see us in some other stuff. So we're working on all that just to get products out to you guys that are maybe just not like just something with our name on it, right? It's actually products that
something that's ours, something that came from our.
That's right. Yeah,
our thoughts and experiences. How did we come up? Basically, the question was like, hey, there's a problem. Let's come up with a solution. Let's figure out how to fix this problem that we're having that we think, a lot of other folks are having too.
Yeah, so we got these things on paper. We got some things in progress, and we got some things at the cusp of being released. So super exciting for Cast and Blast Outfitters. Jimmy and I have been working hard on coming up with ideas, right? And
it's hard. It's easier said than done.
It really is, man. Any entrepreneur in the fishing and hunting industry is really challenged because it's kind of a well-served market. You know what I mean?
There's
and what can you do that's being done differently? And it's not very easy.
You don't want to do the same thing over and over. You want something unique, something personal, something that is yours.
Yeah.
And with everything that's out there, that's not easy to do.
It's not easy to do, and it takes capital, it takes time, it takes experience, it takes all that, and it's something that we're building as we go.
And it takes a network of the know-how to be able to. It's insane what it really takes.
We definitely can't be doing this alone. So we appreciate your guys' support, man. If you can go onto our website, castandblastoutfitters.com, support us by picking up some merch, man. And it's more about spending money and supporting us. Really, our biggest goal is we want to walk out to the jetties one day and see people out there wearing Cast and Blast Outfitters shirts,
cool.
Wearing some lids.
Cool, just to see.
I want to watch Lone Star Law and see somebody in the background. I don't want to see the person in the Violator. I just want to see someone in the background kind of being like, and then pointed out I'm wearing Cast and Blast Outfitters.
Yeah, that'd be so
dope. So that's the goal, man. Is get that brand awareness out and get a product out there that you guys enjoy. We're having fun doing these podcasts, man. We hope you guys are enjoying what we're doing here, man. So you see that we got another camera in here. We're trying to give you guys a different view, a different breakup, and kind of bring you into the podcast with us. So we hope you're appreciating it. I mean, we're live producing this right now, man. I mean, there's nobody behind the scenes.
No, I mean, look at it, full transparency over here, clicking buttons.
Clicking buttons, man. Doing it the best we can with the budget we have at the, you know.
And still having fun.
And having fun, man. And being genuine and being real. Speaking of real, this is Real Talk.
Real Talk with PB&J.
With PB&J, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If this is a podcast you like, make sure you actually subscribe and share this with your friends, man. Send this to your family. Let them know, hey, these are some pretty crazy guys, man. You might want to like their podcast and check it out.
So much. Subscribe and share.
Subscribe and share and let people know, man. So, hey, this is Pinche Ben signing out. Jimmy?
Yep. Take it easy.
Peace.